restored colonial village of Williamsburg, Virginia. Even in the earliest days of our nation, the druggist's mortar and pestle was a proud symbol of reliability. But how reliable were the concoctions assembled by the pharmacist of that era from a weird collection of herbs, roots, and other medications whose use was dictated more by tradition than sound authority? How pure, uniform, and stable were they? And how much laborious work went into their preparation? The conscientious apothecary of days gone by did his best to fill the doctor's prescription to the letter. But he had no control over the deterioration of his chemicals, no proper way of blending them, no means for testing their strength. It's little wonder that on some occasions, the remedy did more damage than the ailment it was intended to cure. Wonderful to look back into the past like this, but as so often happens, we find on closer inspection that the good old days weren't quite as good as we imagined. Today, for example, the pharmacist commands the resources of America's great drug industry. For example, firms like Rexall Drug Company, in whose Los Angeles laboratories we find scientists constantly improving on old established products and constantly seeking new practical uses for the discoveries of the research scientists. Samples produced in the laboratory's pilot plant are stored for long periods under all sorts of temperatures and humidities, then are analyzed to determine if any change has taken place. The mortar and pestle are still in use. In this case, tablets are ground up before going through any number of analyses. First, the samples are weighed on an analytical balance, scales so sensitive they can tell the weight of an eyelash, or your signature on a piece of paper. They have the most uncanny ways of determining the exact chemical and physical makeup of a drug. For example, if they want to find the amount of vitamin B12 it contains, they add microorganisms that require that vitamin for growth. As the bugs develop, they cause the liquid to become cloudy. When all the vitamin is consumed, the microorganism stops growing, and the degree of cloudiness reveals the potency of the vitamin. Various elements are known to absorb a precise amount of infrared light rays, so they pass such rays through a sample, and the rays that are not absorbed are recorded on a graph, revealing exactly the nature of the sample. We take our drugstores pretty much for granted, but to many of the residents of 17th century Williamsburg, a store like this would have spelled the difference between life and death. Come to think of it, I guess it spells the same to us.